Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. And if this is your first time on my channel, well, simply welcome. My name is David Neyts, and today's topic is how to choose a monologue. If you're an aspiring actor trying to break through in the movie or theater industry, at some point or another, you will have to memorize a monologue. Well, if you're serious about acting, you will be memorizing many monologues throughout your training. The monologue in itself is a really great exercise for anybody studying a script because it basically puts the spotlight on you and you only. Mostly as someone who is in the business of creating characters, you will always need a partner to fully be able to rehearse a scene. But with a monologue, you are able to train your craft solo. It's true that at most auditions, they will actually give you a script and ask you to perform the scene that they gave to you, but having 2 or 3 monologues in your arsenal is always good to have. 99% of the time, they will never ask you to do a monologue scene, but having one ready for the casting director will give you an enormous upper hand on the other people who simply don't have anything. Actually, the only reason they would ask you to perform a monologue scene is if the audition you were called for doesn't have any official sides for the character they are asking you to audition for, yet they still want to see how you perform a scene. Also, they do come in useful if you are auditioning for a new agent or a manager. They will often ask you to perform something for them in order to see that you actually have the acting chops to book something. This is why choosing the right monologue for you is really important. Here are the things that I look for before choosing something that I'd like to work on. Is it fit for me? By that I mean to say, is the character portrayed in the monologue something that I could actually be cast for? Something to look for is if the character fits your age range. As fun as it is to perform a character that is super old, a little kid, or somebody from a completely different culture than yourself, if it's not something that you'd actually fit in physique-wise, then it's maybe best to move on to another character. Remember that casting directors, agents, managers are business people, and they shouldn't have to use too much imagination when you are performing a scene. With all auditions, these people will first look at your outward appearance, and then they will cast you according to your acting chops. Of course, doing an amazing audition might be able to win their hearts and actually cast you in a part that was written for somebody completely different than you. But for the purpose of learning a monologue, let's just stick to stuff that you can actually be cast in. It should have a clear story. Like all movies, series, plays, and any other mediums that are based on storytelling, your monologues should have a clear beginning, middle, and end. They shouldn't be longer than 90 seconds and preferably on the shorter side of 60 seconds. In other words, a perfect monologue is between 60 to 90 seconds. When auditioning, the casting directors will have to most probably spend all day seeing actors, so keeping your performance as short and efficient as possible will be to your advantage. Pick a monologue that highlights your qualities and talents. It should have a character that presents a good character arc and different emotions. Doing all this in less than 90 seconds may seem like a very short amount of time, but that's the challenge that you need to be able to face in the audition room. Hit all the moments. Being able to perform your audition on a time crunch can sometimes result in actors kind of blabbing their scene as fast as possible. Speaking in front of casting directors and such is nerve-wracking, but it doesn't mean that you have to speed through your process. Slowing down your pace, using transitions, and taking beats between different lines will show confidence and ease. After all, if you book the audition, you will most likely be performing in front of a whole crew of people, so showing confidence in your performance at the audition will give you more trust to the people seeking to hire you. Don't be rude. What I mean by that is to actually choose monologues that are appropriate to bring into the audition room. Foul language, obscene situations, or political scenes might be able to catch the attention of people and make you unforgettable, but you don't want to be the person that's unforgettable to the casting director for all the wrong reasons. Making them uncomfortable is probably not a good idea and will make them pretty much avoid the fact that they need to hire you. Of course, if the sides that you were given have foul language and such, perform it the way that it's written on the page. But for a monologue, I'd say just stay away from anything too obscene. It may be daring and fun to perform, but doing crazy stuff most of the time isn't really to your advantage. Choose different styles. If you see many acting class requirements, they will often ask you to have 2 monologues ready to perform just so that they can audition you to be a student in the class. Well, it's really up to you if you love drama and all you want to do is dramatic scenes, but I still think that whatever type of actor you are, we are always a little bit of both. So, in other words, simply have at least 1 comedic monologue and 1 dramatic monologue. I'd go even so far as to say that if you like classical plays, maybe it'd be in your best interest to also have a Shakespeare monologue, as those come in pretty useful at times. As you can see, most of how to select a monologue actually comes to simple logic and not going too crazy in your acting career. Acting teachers often say to make bold choices, but there's bold and there's bold. Any extreme is usually more uncomfortable than anything else. Well, I guess it is art, and if your gut is telling you to do that, well, you know what? You do you, okay? I hope you really enjoyed this video. I certainly enjoyed filming it. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. I've been putting out a ton of content and will continue to do so. Leave me a comment too and let me know what kind of monologues you have in your arsenal. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.